So, John, today was your graduation at Hope Gospel Mission, year and a half in the program here. And thanks again for the honor of coming and being able to speak for your graduation. It's always an honor to be able to see a brother make it out here on the streets and not only graduate this part of the program, but you're going now into the discipleship part of the program for however long that may be. So that's really awesome. So I haven't even really ever heard your testimony yet. Mom kind of hooked us up, and I've met you a couple to three times before now. So why don't you just tell them a little bit about yourself, give them your testimony.
All right. Well, thanks, Brian, for coming and being a part of this, man. So a little bit about myself. I've been trapped into an addiction of intravenous IV drug use for a numerous of years, leading up to probably about 20 years, which led me into a life of crime, which ultimately leads to a life of incarcerations. I was battling back and forth, getting out, going in, telling myself each time that I got out that this was going to be the last time. But upon getting released, I had no other clear view of where to go other than back to the drugs and back to the life, which ultimately led me right back to incarceration. And I just found myself in a whirlwind of, revolving doors until it finally came to a point where I was sitting in front of the judge and he told me, Mr. Lynch, you're going to state prison for the next 8 years. And at that point, there was thought of fear, there was thought of, just this is it, I'm done. But ultimately I had a feeling of relief and peace come over me. I knew at that moment that everything was going to be fine from here on out. I had a fresh start, a fresh opportunity to take this time and use it to my advantage to become closer to God, to become closer to me, really find out who I am as an individual and who I am as a son of God. And I continued to pray and ask God for direction and what my purpose was in life. And I know I didn't make it through the situations I have, nearly missing death and nearly missing, just being locked up for the rest of my life for no reason. He gave me another chance. And another chance, and another chance. Now I needed to find out why. So, once I started getting a little closer to my my release date, I really started reaching out to people, and my mother was one of them. And,
So yeah, I got a call from you, or actually a message first.
Right. I remember hearing your story. I don't know if it was through Dryden Wire. I think it was somebody who was sharing your story, and I overheard it. I really don't know how, but it was sent to me. Your story was sent to me. And I thought, okay, John's going to get out. We had put boundaries up at home because of, the bridges that were burned. And we knew he couldn't come home. And I knew if he didn't find somewhere to go, I don't know if he would survive another chance. So that's when I looked you up on Facebook and reached out through Messenger and asked if you knew where there was something, an aftercare program that could give him another chance. And so you gave me your phone number and I gave you a call and you told me all about Hope Gospel Mission here in Eau Claire. And so I jumped on the internet and looked it all through and sent John the application. He and his counselor filled it out, which I really didn't think it was going to go any further, but God was working. God was doing his job, his duty, and taking care of my son, and they sent in the application. John was then released from prison and really, again, didn't have anywhere to go, but he did find somebody he could stay with for a couple days. We drove down here, went into the office, they did an interview, and he was immediately accepted into the program. And he's been here ever since. He's 16 months. 16 months here. He has found God. He is working on himself and who he wants to be, and also has dedicated his life through baptism. And
unfortunately, I go to an event for that. I missed that. I really want to be a part of that.
You were there.
Well, I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Spiritually, you were there.
Yeah, to the vessel, you were there. But tonight we witnessed God's work in so many ways and so many people, and I'll never give up on any of my children or anybody else that needs prayer. You just have to keep that hope in your heart and have faith and believe.
Yeah, and those individuals who work with a lot of parents, especially of addicts and stuff, I just want this video to encourage you, because I've been doing this for 13 years, and I've had hundreds of mothers contact me. Oh, will you help my child? Will you help my child? And you don't see a whole lot of help. It's one thing for a mother or a parent to want help for their child. It's another thing for the child to want that help. And so it's really hard in our situation sometimes to say, well, there's nothing really you can do except pray and continue to love on them. So this is a very meaningful testimony to me, because I actually got to see the results of God hooking us all up, and not just being, maybe not ever hearing about the situation again, or down the road sometime, by the way, you helped my son, thank you. So being able to actually see a result and see how in God's sovereignty, how he uses each and every one of us, your prayers, my hookup, don't forget that, we're out of prison,
Right.
so we have hookups, we're just in good ways now, but the hookups and stuff, and how the Lord is just sovereign. If he wants you, he's going to get you, but he uses so many different devices to do that. So thank you, John, and I'm just honored to be here. And how long are you sober now?
3 years.
3 years sober, a year and a half in this program, and you're going into the discipleship program, which is who knows how long, right? And just keep looking up, man. Keep that Bible in your pocket instead of the mouth pipe, and you'll be all right.
Definitely.
Amen.
Also, on a side note, I'd like to express my gratitude for your testimony. When you came down here and we had met in the back,
Yeah.
and we just, it was like sitting there chopping it up with an old cellmate, and just to hear your story, man, it honestly allowed me the freedom to know that I've been forgiven, for my sins. And every time I start getting down and I start getting that stinking thinking of like, man, it's, I'll start identifying of who I used to be. I just listen to your story, and it truly does install who I am now. So thank you so much.
God bless you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.